Psychologically versus financially, if you are late, sometimes people don't file. They just, I'm late, I'm not going to file, and then it just snowballs.
Hello, I'm Michelle Voskuhl. I'm here today with John Neal of the Neal Group in Greenfield, Wisconsin. John is the founder and owner. Today, being in the month of March, we are going to be talking about the true cost of filing late and penalties that can be avoided. So John, what happens financially when someone files late?
If a person files late and they owe money, the IRS is going to charge them interest and a late payment penalty. The late payment penalty is 0.5% per month or fraction of the month, as many people find out, up to a maximum of actually 50% of the tax that's due. So you owe $1,000 and you're 5 months late, they're going to tack on another $12.50 plus interest at whatever the current interest rate is. Other things that happen if you ignore letters that you get after filing late, you can have your bank account levied, you can have your wages garnished. Psychologically versus financially, if you are late, sometimes people don't file. They just, I'm late, I'm not going to file, and then it just snowballs.
Right. What about for a business? So it's a little bit different for businesses, like corporations, if they file late.
Yeah. If corporations and partnerships file late, if you're an S corporation or a partnership, there is a per owner per month late penalty, not based on any tax that you owe. If you are a regular corporation or a C corporation, as they're called, penalties for late filing apply if you owe. And I guess that's one thing we should clarify. If you don't owe the IRS anything, if you're getting a refund or you've broken even, there is no penalty.
Right. From an individual standpoint, if they have all of the information. But if you own a small business or a corporation, they might estimate what you owe.
Correct.
But then how do late filings snowball into bigger problems?
Many people, if they're late, they just postpone, and now they're 2 years late and 3 years late. And especially here in Wisconsin, the state of Wisconsin Department of Revenue can get really nasty. And they will estimate assessments, and if you don't answer within a certain period of time, that assessment becomes final, and a tax warrant is filed with the courts, and it becomes public record, and your name can go on the internet saying that, you know, John Neal owes $15,000 in income taxes.
Yes. Those notices are very scary for people when they receive them. So what's the first step someone should do when they know they're not going to be able to file on time?
Depending on what you mean by filing on time, one of the first things that you can do is file an extension. S corporations and partnerships are due on March 15th. You can file an automatic 6-month extension, which gives you until September 15th to get things organized, and you avoid penalties by filing that extension. With individuals, individual returns are due April 15th. Again, you can get an automatic 6-month extension until October 15th. And after October 15th or September 15th, those returns are late, and you will potentially be penalized.
Okay. So from the Neal Group perspective, what do we do to step in to reduce those penalties and anything that's related to a late filing penalty?
There are certain ways of either reducing or eliminating penalties. For businesses, we can ask for what's called first-time abatement. We've had a number of clients that decided to start a business and they decided to elect S corporation status, and they didn't realize that the return was due by March 15th. So they come to us after March 15th and go, here's my return. And then the IRS, after we file it, the IRS comes back and says, you're late, here's a penalty. We can ask the IRS for what's called first-time abatement, basically saying, hey, these people didn't know when the return was due because it's their first year filing, and the IRS will automatically grant it. There are other ways of doing it. We've had businesses or individuals that have had what the IRS will call reasonable cause. You're an individual, your spouse died, and so you didn't file an extension, and you're filing your return in August or September, and the IRS sends you a letter saying, hey, thanks for paying us the $1,000 that you owed in taxes, but you also owe us some penalties. Again, we can write the IRS, or we can call up our special contact number for professionals and say, here's what happened, will you please what's called abate the penalty? Most of the time they will, and then you don't owe it.
Right. So besides an extension, you said you get a 6-month extension, whether you're a business or an individual. Are there any other things that can happen that can allow you to file late?
Well, there are certain things in the sense of natural disasters. In 2025, there were certain counties in Wisconsin that had significant flooding. So the normal extension of time would have been October 15th for individuals. The IRS extended it to February 15th of 2026. Down south in Florida, they have hurricanes. Texas, they have, sometimes they have flooding and tornadoes. And so the natural disasters do that. And then again, as we talked about a little bit before, technically it's not an extension that's granted by the IRS, but if you have health issues or somebody in your family died, you don't get an automatic extension, but when you explain to the IRS what happened, they'll let you go without a penalty.
Right. To summarize a little bit, the Neal Group, although we are located in Greenfield, Wisconsin, we do have clients around the country. And as John was mentioning, sometimes there are natural disasters in California, for example, wildfires or flooding in Tennessee or hurricanes in Florida. So wherever you are, we are willing to help you prepare your tax return and then help, especially if you do file late. We can help you in all cases. Is there anything else you need to say, John, related to filing and penalties?
Again, penalties, many times there are valid reasons for filing late or for paying late. Call a professional, call us. We can help you get out of them.
Great. Thanks. Come and see us at the Neal Group.